Hello and welcome to day one of our 3-day challenge event, Navigating the Star Codes. Okay, we got Kirsten hopping on. Start. So excited. And if you're here live, let us know. Yay! We're live in our first, hey, Triple Venus. So glad you're here. So today is day one of our 3-day challenge. We're so excited for you to be with us. Nancy's here. Hello, Nancy. And so Kirsten, my beautiful 6-2 emotional manifesting generator. I'm going to hand it off to you.
Good morning, everyone. So just a friendly reminder, I'm down under and it is Thursday today. It's around 9 a.m. Lauren's in LA. So what time have we got there now, Lauren?
We're in the afternoon at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. So I just thought I'd remind everyone that you're coming from the Northern and the Southern Hemisphere live, which is really exciting. So we've got the energies of the planet, the planets aligning, but from the Northern and the Southern Hemisphere. So I just wanted to give a friendly reminder to those that obviously know us, but also to let those that don't really know much about us just a little bit more about Cosmic Harmony HD. And yeah, really what Lauren and I are doing at the moment. And we're really, really excited to be able to provide all of this to you all. And thank you so much for joining us live. We really appreciate it. And those that are unable and you're watching on the replay, just hashtag replay for us so that lets us know that you're watching the replay. So Lauren and I are really passionate about guiding creative entrepreneurs, leaders, and reconnecting them in who they really truly are, and to really help them dig and find their purpose or follow their purpose, why they're here. And with my strategic expertise and Lauren's intuitive guidance, we call her the Oracle, with support using tools like human design, gene keys, embodiment work, mindfulness tools. We really want to offer you all some deep insights into your unique strengths, patterns, and potential, because we're all here to learn, right? And we're continually learning. So last night I was actually up on stage and I had a graduation, and it was amazing to see all these different people from all walks of life at all different parts of their lives. And it was a real honor to be probably in the older generation of people up on stage. And so it really made me reflect that we're all here to learn and we can all learn from each other. And I think it's really powerful being able to tap into that knowing from each other and what we can learn from each other, right, Lauren? Because you and I are continually learning all the time. We just learned something before about a synchronicity that happened for both of us. So we really want to empower you all to break free from some of those limiting patterns. I know I've learned a lot in the last few years, more so than ever. Embrace, your authentic self and really align with what your highest purpose is. And there's been some, tough periods that you have to break through. I certainly know that. And I know that for you as well, Lauren. But breaking through those barriers can really help you align to where it is that you're wanting to go. Or perhaps you've always dreamt of it, but just don't have the tools to empower yourselves to do that. So through our transformative program and our workshops, we're going to give you those tools to help you elevate professional and personal life and really try to move through ease and confidence. So that's Cosmic Harmony HD. So thank you, Lauren, for allowing me to share.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Kirsten. And I just want to say hi to everybody that's hopping on. We're so happy you're here and just so honored that you're spending your time and energy with us. We love to know where you're tuning in from. If you know your type in human design, your profile, your inner authority, drop it in the comments. And yeah, so welcome to our challenge. Make sure you stay tuned till the end because we have something very, very exciting that we want to offer you for your chance to win. It's going to be so, so good. So before we hopped on live, Kirsten and I were chatting. Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a projector. Yay, we got another projector in the house. Lucille's a projector too. Awesome, awesome. You're going to learn so much about what it is to be a projector. You're in the right space. Nancy's a projector too. We got projector magic. We got the energy magic too. So let's talk about synchronicities really quick because that is the frequency of when the universe really starts talking to us. It's really a potent time for us to co-create when we get those synchronicities. So this afternoon I was making some tea, and on the tea sometimes I will there's this one brand that always has like affirmations or suggestions or encouragement, little messages. And so it talked about gratitude and how important it is and what happens when you're lacking in gratitude. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Well, then me and Kirsten hopped on just to brief before we went on live. And Kirsten said, I'm not kidding you, like the exact same thing that was on my tea. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. So it said, we're a nation hungry for more joy because we're starving from a lack of gratitude. And that quote is by Brene Brown. And then we were also talking about essential oils and tangerine, which is the oil of gratitude. And Kirsten knows all about essential oils as well. So that was a really interesting sort of starting point as we start this challenge and where the sun is today in gate 25. So if you know about gate 25, if you're new to human design, if you don't know anything about the gates, let us know. So we're on the bridge right now. We are entering Aries season and in gate 25, which is the gate of universal love. And we'll go a little bit more into this. I'm just going to give you a little bit of the basics. Don't know about gates. Okay, perfect. So in the body graph, we have 64 gates. And so in our human design, we don't have 64 gates. We have a set number of gates, and that makes up our aura type. That makes up our personal design. But as we go through the transits, we will all experience the energy of the other gates as well. And so with gate 25, you want to see in your chart where it's showing up for you. You might not have this gate. You might have a hanging gate that's linking to gate 25, which would be gate 51, or it could just be showing up and playing different aspects and things with your other placements. We're always going to be affected by the transits in different ways. So with this challenge and the 3 days, what we're going to give you, what is going to expand in your awareness is key astrological and transit insights, how to navigate the cosmic currents, and then connection with community. That's so huge for both of us. Community is life-changing, it's supportive, it's everything. And so that's one of our really big values that we want to bring forward to our fractal, our people in our community. So hello everybody that's hopping on. Thanks so much for being here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you know your human design type. Sonny, hello. So happy you're here.
And Kay, we're so happy, Kay, that you're joining us. That's Bro Cook Store. Yeah, we've got some Aussies in the house.
Hey, down under people. So Kirsten, do you want to go further into our overview for today?
Yeah, so our overview today, we're going to talk a little bit about the key astrological transit at the moment, as Lauren mentioned. So key or gate 25 in the G center. Also just a little bit about Aries, that we're in the zodiac of Aries now officially. So we begin that today. And the ruling planet is Mars. And that's all about taking action, stepping into courage and leadership. What does that mean for you? I'd really love to know. Is there anything that stands out for you with those words, action, courage, or leadership? I have Aries in my 10th house, interestingly, and Lauren has it Aries in her moon, her Mars, and her descendant. Do you actually know if you have Aries anywhere in your human design or gene keys or astrological charts? We'd really love to know. We'd really, really like to know that as well. So as we're moving out of, from last week through the transits, it's moving out of what needed healing or releasing and going into alignment of gate or key 36, right? We're now moving into the gate of spirit of the self. So it's about the self and how we can move from constriction. So what's constricting you, through acceptance, what do you need to accept, to universal love. So that's a really high city. And the founder of Gene Keys, Richard Rudd, speaks about universal love is actually one of the most difficult cities to move into. It is also one of the 7 sacred seals. And in the sacred seals, it says that 25 is all about how to heal all of humanity. Well, how do we do that? Through love, right? It's the only way. So this transit is going from the 18th of March to the 24th of March. And then on a 6-day cycle, we move into the next gate or key. Okay, so that just gives you a little bit about how long. So we're in 25. Everyone has the same, can tap into this one. It doesn't matter whether it's showing in your profile or chart. We all energetically can tap into this because this is what is being gifted to us at the moment. And every 6 days, the transits will change. So we're in Aries. We're in going from constriction through acceptance to universal love. What is it about healing all of humanity? Is there anything there that comes up for you in regards to that? Now, Lauren, we also talked about that we might start off with a little bit of an anchoring, a centering. So, Lauren, if you would like to take over, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about gate 25, if that's okay with everyone. And there's some really great comments there too, Lauren. Perhaps maybe we could go through some of those just before we start the centering.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're also going to do a couple mini transit readings. So that's going to be really fun to go through and see how the transits impact people very differently. So Star Child says, I have Aries in my chart, but I forgot what house.
Okay.
Totally fine. That happens. Like, get it. You'll get more familiar with it as you learn your chart and start contemplating these placements. The Triple Venus said Aries 12th house. Oh, interesting. My South Node is all I have, but Mars opposing my descendant, so it's more easily accessible. Nice. Yeah. Wow. I'm like thinking about how that energy shows up, because the 12th house is all about the subconscious. It's all about what's hidden. So that's very interesting. And the South Node. Wow. Mars opposing my descendant. Very, very powerful. I would try to heal the world through prayer and meditation. Love that. Oh, opposing my ascendant. Got it. I have lots of Aries, more than the rest. I feel it. I got a lot of fire in my chart too. Even though I'm a Scorpio, I got fire. Yeah, love it, Lucille. Very amazing. So I'm so excited to learn more about you guys individually, seeing how all of your uniqueness pops in your chart. This is so good. So Anytime I'm leading like a workshop or a session, I always like to set the foundation with some centering and invite you into some questions to contemplate. So this just could be very, very short to set the tone and how we're going to go into this energy in today. So right now I want to invite you to either lower your eye gaze or close your eyes, and we're just going to take some deep breaths together. So taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. And taking another deep breath in through your nose, expanding your belly. And releasing. And taking the deepest breath you've taken all day in through your nose and holding it. And taking a breath on top of that and holding it. And letting everything go with a sigh. And whatever that you've had going on before you came to this live or replay, after that you have to do, noticing any thoughts, any busyness in the mind of, I have to do this, I have to focus on that, da 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 da. I just want to gently invite you to put that to the side right now and completely put your focus and attention into this present moment. That you are here for you, and that you are here and being invited and called to from your soul, from your highest self, to step into something deeper, to expand into your true authentic self and alignment. And I want to ask you a question regarding your theme of your type. So let's say you're a manifester. And I want to ask you this question for you to contemplate and drop into your heart of expanding in more peace. What would that look like to have the confidence, the assurance, the courage to inform and initiate when you got the urge? Where do you get to let go of the waiting, the holding back, and step more into your peace and informing? If you are a generator or a manifesting generator, what would it feel like to feel the calmness, to feel the joy in waiting to respond and using your energy in ways that bring you satisfaction and joy, and letting go of things that give you frustration and are draining? What would that look like? And who would you get to be in choosing that? What doors would open and what doors need to close? For my projectors, what does success mean to you? How do you get to live as your true, authentic self by not trying to catch up with the hustle, with the energy world, being conditioned as a generator, a manifesting generator, a manifester, and really hone in on your unique genius, your amazing insight, and what you're here to guide the energy world in? What do you get to value and recognize within yourself first so you can magnetize aligned invitations? And my reflectors, the unicorns of our aura types, what would it feel like to trust the feelings and the feedback that you're getting in the environments that you show up in? What people and environments and spaces support you, and what others leave you disappointed? What would it feel like to give yourself time to process through your decision making and waiting a full lunar cycle to make those decisions? How does it feel to give yourself permission to know that your human experience is for you to sample life and to be in the joy and the surprise of that? And so just leaving you with these questions these things to contemplate. My hope is that it continues to expand in your reality, to drop these seeds that will continue to grow. And if you want to come back to this exercise later, tomorrow, throughout the week, whenever, I invite you to do so. And if you have another intention during this challenge today, I want to invite you to set that intention in this field as well. And so let's breathe all into this beautiful magic that we are co-creating together, that we are all on this same plane, this same field, that there is no longer any sort of hierarchy. Nobody is better, nobody is worse. We're all on this team playing together in this game of life. And so with that, taking a deep breath in and out, and coming back into the room you're in. So let's see. Nancy said, my sun, Cancer, my moon, Aquarius, my ascendant, Pisces, my Venus is in Taurus. Beautiful. Hello, Mel Jackson. So glad you're here. You guys had said that my HE type was different than I thought. Was it? What is it? I don't know what the numbers mean again. Okay, so what was different was your profile. So everything stayed the same for the most part. So the transit information will be the same. It's just the profile shifted. So we can connect with you and just make sure that the time is right, because we don't want something to be off that's not supportive for you. Okay, so let us know how that centering was for you, what came up, and one or two words of what your highest self brought to you. Okay, so Kirsten, you wanna continue with what we have in store today?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Lauren, for doing that. It's nice to actually just stop and take a pause and allow those breaths to come in. I know that's been really transformative for me to really tap in and learn to breathe, especially with someone that does have anxiety, and runs my adrenaline runs on that anxiety, right? And it's funny because it came up in conversation earlier this week when I had some somatic practice work done on me. And so, for us to stop and just take that pause, I think is really, really important. So I appreciate that. And it's interesting, right? Because we go through these three phases of our lives: allow, accept, and embrace. And allowing in is the mind. Acceptance is the physical body. And it's also the embracement is the emotional realm. So what are you allowing to hear or see? What is your physical body accepting or telling you? And what is that embracement through the emotional realm? And yeah, I've shared some stories in the past about what my physical body was trying to tell me, but I wasn't listening to it. So I think it's really, really important that there's three different key elements, and it could be different for everyone, but understanding when you stop, you breathe, you allow yourself to give yourself that space, you can really tap in and being in attunement, be in alignment with what your body or your mind or your emotional well-being is trying to give you those clues and those signs. So as we mentioned earlier, gate of the spirit of self, gate 25, located in the G center, governs identity, love, and direction in life. And Lauren asked, what are your key takeaways from when you stopped and you paused and just allowed those moments to come in? So is there anything there that comes up for you? Can you pop it in the comments there if there's a word or if there's a phrase or if there's a feeling? We'd really love to hear. what came up for you. So we're also just going to pivot here a little bit. We're also in Mercury retrograde. Has anyone had any tech issues? I know there's a few people that I know that have. So on March 15, we went into Mercury retrograde. It's up until around the 7th of April, and it's transiting through 4 gates. And we've got the in human design, we've got the will, the ajna, the G, and the emotional solar plexus that this Mercury retrograde's going through. So it's pretty powerful. And then we've got the Venus retrograde in Aries. I might get Lauren to tap in a little bit more on that one. So Lauren, I'll just pass that bit over to you. If you can give us a little bit of an insight onto the Venus retrograde, or how Aries is going to also affect us now that we're into Aries.
Yeah. So backing up a little bit, I just want to end with the gate 25 because I have it in my chart, and this shows up in my personality Mars. I have it in line 2, and this Mars is like a great teacher because Mars gets super excited and wants to take action, but like Mars in human design is sort of like the premature like child, like premature like masculine, like, okay, I'm excited, I want to do all the things, and then I do it too fast and I didn't wait, or I missed a couple steps. So with gate 25 for me, it has really been like, as a projector, we're just here to recognize, and a lot of my healing journey has been, I see potential in a lot of people. And that was sort of like an Achilles heel at the same time. Just because you see potential in somebody doesn't mean that's actually how they are being. And so what Mars has taught me is that might be the goal of like universal love. And I just really want to be in that space. And there has to be other parameters around that. So it is a safe space. So I'm not just projecting a potential onto somebody. So I just wanted to leave with that caveat. And at the same time, as we're going through our gates and the gene keys and experimenting with it, certain things pop and unfold for us. So we're like learning about certain things, we're taking in the information, and then we see how it shows up in real time. And it's going to be unique and different for each person. And that's what makes it really fun at the same time. Like human design is really like experiential learning. So Nancy says, I have tech issues without Mercury retrograde, but yeah, right. So true. So true. So Venus retrograde in Aries. So I was talking a little bit about this in one of my reels that I did the other day when we were still in gate 36. And this energy that's coming up with Venus retrograde is really about what is coming up in relationships and our values. We're reviewing this. And so I feel like it really is mirroring back from last year when the nodes were in Aries and Libra, because the North Node in Aries is like, okay, how am I putting myself first, my leadership, what's the action? And then the South Node in Libra was like, okay, well, what is out of alignment? What's no longer like feeling balanced in my relationships? And so with Aries, it can be a little bit like, last year was kind of like a little bit of an angry energy. But with Venus in Aries, it's not as intense. It's more like we're reflecting on our self-leadership, and we're seeing certain things come up of what wasn't I paying attention to last year that's still circling around. And as we go into Aries, it puts us a little bit more in that more not like selfish energy, but it's like self-empowerment. And then it's going to go back into Pisces. So Venus, Pisces in retrograde is going to be a little bit different. Before it goes direct, it's going to be reflecting more on those mystical spiritual relationships, spiritual values, reviewing them, seeing if anything is out of place. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that the sun is conjunct like a bunch of placements right now with like Neptune It's about to form like a Kamisi, I think it's called. So the sun is shining on Neptune to see what is, because Neptune is a planet of like illusion, but it's mysticism. It veils things, but the sun there, it can really like shine the light of what's being hidden. So it's a good time for this and Venus retrograde because it's shining light on what's continuing to come to the surface. So the triple Venus, as I was connecting it with the lunar eclipse in Virgo, is in my 5th house, but I've been called to slow down, let things take time, but just try to get something out as fast as possible. Not try. I get texting and during retro. Beautiful. Yes. I love that so much. Yeah, with the retrograde energy, it really is a time to slow down. But then eclipse, on the other hand, it speeds shit up and it's like bam, bam, bam. So I feel like with this energy, it's surrendering to what the universe is speeding up for us and surrendering in that way. And then with the eclipse, it's like, okay, where am I being pulled to slow it down? Not trying to force. What are we here to review? If certain things come up that are like tech issues that we say with Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde is really about relationship and value that we're reviewing. So if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, it's like reviewing your pricing, maybe how you align to your values, how that shows up in business, maybe your content, what else? And then any sort of new things that are coming in that we're going to get to into a second with one of our awesome mini transit readings. We're going to shed light on like how this can come into fruition as well. And so with the eclipse, the north node is in Pisces and the south node is in Virgo right now. So, and then triple Venus says pricing, branding, rebranding. Love it. Love it. Yes. Perfect time for this. And then with Aries, it's really helpful because it's pushing us to be more in our self-empowerment and leadership. So that's awesome. So I got a thumbs up. That's cool. With Pisces and the North Node, I think I mentioned this before, but just to reiterate again, that we're really being called to focus on detachment, our spirituality, how we are relating to others, but like not getting into the nitpicky ways that Virgo can, and seeing where that is still showing up, because the south node helps us like release. It's like, okay, we're reviewing this no longer is in alignment. And then because with the nodes, they're polar opposites, they're in opposition of each other. And so Virgo wants the details, it's super service oriented, but in the shadow it can be very analytical and micromanaging. Whereas Pisces, it is the last sign of the wheel. It's completed all the things. It has all the lessons. It sort of reminds me of like the line 6 in human design, and it's just looking to the next thing. It can be kind of aloof, but it has great spiritual wisdom and depth. And so that will be the things that we are going to experience in the next 18 months with these nodes, and then seeing where this shows up in your chart as well. And in the nodes, we have the gate 6 and the gate 36, I believe still. So we're going to go back and forth between conflict, which Virgo is like, okay, I want to focus on all the conflict and the things. But in the higher frequencies of the gate 6, it's all about diplomacy. And then we're shifting into Pisces, gate 36, which is like, okay, what is the crisis going on here? It could be emotional, that can be distracting. And then the higher expression is, okay, this is a human experience. How do I hold the compassion? What's my next thing that I'm here? What am I feeling into? And so that's really going to be important as we go back and forth with the nodes. as they are still in the gate 6 and the gate 36, and then Pisces and Virgo. So Mel says, I'm feeling called to rise at dawn to align with the sunrise and take time for contemplating, breathing, reflecting, and simply being. A moment to reset, realign, and receive whatever the morning. Love this so much because that's exactly like North Node Pisces energy.
And you're
So
stepping
beautiful.
into it, Mel. You're absolutely so aligned with that right now. I know Mel very well. So it's really lovely to read that and hear that, Mel. Let's, yeah, really feel like you're really stepping into that full empowerment. You've worked for a number of years now on understanding the transits and how they can really help impact some of the decisions we make. And I know Mel's helped me with things to understand and align as well. So yeah, I'm really, really, really pleased to hear that, Mel. I'd love to know what tools or embodiment practices does anyone practice to help align themselves? Are you doing any kind of breath work? Are you getting up at dawn to see or feel the sunrise? Or are you taking time to just reset and reflect? Do you journal? We'd really love to know, are there any kind of tools that you're already using, or perhaps maybe ones that you'd like to set the intentions for? And we'd love to be able to help you work on those intentions and put them into practice. Because it's all well and good to have all these things and know all these things, but it's about stepping in and really embodying it. And I think that's part of this gate, is bringing this to awareness, right? But also stepping in and deeply feeling it. How does it feel for you? How does that really make your heart sing, right? Because it's all about how we not only, you know, loving what we do or feel, it's about how it affects everybody else around us as well. So I think that's really super, super important to know. So if there is anything else that anyone has with any practice or daily rituals, we'd really love to hear from you. So we're going to, Lauren's just getting set up. We're going to do 2 mini readings today. We're really excited about offering these, and thank you for those that did send their profiles, their human design profile information, to go into the draw to have their mini profile reading today. And I believe that we're going to have Nancy first.
Yeah. So before we transition into our to the mini readings, just want to close with, I didn't mention that Venus is in gate 17. So that's the gate of opinions. And it is in the highest expression in the gene keys, all about omnipresence and omniscience. And so it's Venus. Right now we're reviewing our opinions. And the shadow is, well, my opinion wants to be right, right? But from the universe through higher consciousnesses, there is no right and wrong. And so we get to reflect on that and seeing, well, where in my relationships do I feel like maybe I'm at heads in there. And lastly, and so this can be some like fun home, I don't want to say like homework, but like things to reflect on and contemplate to expand in just your evolution and just in the way that it feels good for you. And then for gate 25, it's what does unconditional love look like without boundaries and with? Because we wanna make sure we have like the distinction and what happens with both. Because I know absolutely what unconditional love looks like without boundaries. And that hasn't been super safe for me. But with boundaries, I can love way better. And that's a huge thing that Brene Brown has referencing her from when we first started, has found in her research. The people who have the best compassion and able to hold space and love is the people who are the most boundaried. So let's see, let's go back to the comments. Nancy says, I meditate in the morning daily. Well, I admit it, I have missed recently because I was outside sucking up the sun in meditation for my whole body. I love it. The sun is so good. So, so good. I love meditating too, Nancy. Sonny says, I'm a Virgo sun with a Virgo stellium. I've been meditating most days, having long walks in nature. And also I got some crystals specifically to allow and surrender and receive Pisces energy. I love that, Sonny. So how is this showing up for you since you're a Virgo and the South Node is in Virgo? Is this hitting in your Virgo stellium and how it shows up in like releasing any sort of shadow-like ways that Virgo can show up in? Are you shifting more into where Pisces shows up in your chart? We really love to know if you want to inform us. Okay, so now we're going.
I'm going to mention something, Lauren. I'm just going to jump in there. I just want to go back to the 17 because it is my culture.
Yeah.
So my design Jupiter, also known as culture, and so culture is all about who you surround yourself with, right? Who are you meant to serve, and who are you meant to meet? Who are you working with? Who are you showing up for? So yeah, I just wanted to mention that about 17 because I think it's really important to understand that. And with the omniscient system, that's 17, it's also about farsightedness, and it's about what you're seeing and where you can go, but how can you help that culture change also? And isn't it funny, it's really connected, I feel, to the 25 with humanity. So what are you wanting to change for all? So sorry that I interjected there, but
no,
I just felt
it's
like
beautiful. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, the 17 is really prominent for me too. It's in my unconscious Mars and my my personality moon, and it's one of my channels. So yeah, it's been a huge thing as I have really gone through the deconditioning process, and then how I see it show up for other people in their charts, because that's where if somebody has a hanging gate, then I compromise. And so it's just really interesting to see how this shows up in other people too. And that's how projectors really learn, is through other people and getting that feedback. So really, really helpful. And this system and this knowledge is just so helpful because it's applicable and you see where certain key points are showing up. So Sani says, I have to release control. I meet resistance almost immediately, and flow or no go. Interesting. So that must be like a growth edge for Virgo, because Virgo is in my South Node as well. My North Node is in Pisces. And so I'm really seeing this more and more coming to the surface. So it's really interesting to see how Virgo is like really being hit with, hey, release that control. It is a mutable sign, so that helps, you know, but it is Earth and it needs to take its time. So very, very powerful, very interesting. Thanks so much for sharing, Sonny, and everybody who has shared. We're so happy to hear all of what's coming up for you guys. Okay, so are you ready to get into the mini transit readings? I know I am. So first we have Nancy. So Nancy is a 4/6 splenic projector, and she says my 17 is a hanging gate on the design side. Interesting. So let's see how the transits are showing up for you. I know, Nancy, I connected with you a little bit, and I noticed a couple placements that I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like Jupiter, you have a Jupiter return, and then Uranus is conjunct your Venus right now. Are you having any unexpected like revelations around like relationships or money? Funny thing, Nancy had a very unexpected windfall come into her. And it was a couple things. And I just felt so much excitement and success when she was sharing with me, because Nancy is a projector. And like for projectors, it's just different for us. So like when things come to us as we've been waiting and really, Angela, you're here. So happy you're here, buddy. As we, it's like we're getting ready for our time, basically. And so as we're waiting, as we're like mastering our systems, as we're seeing the energy types and all the things, like love you too, like go go go, we're honoring our own way. And then the not self comes in and it's like, okay, well, I need to keep up. So it just happens. But this was just really good confirmation for Nancy and seeing how it's showing up in her transits. So just going back to the key themes of the sun in gate 25, it's a deep purification alignment of one with the core of one's true self. This is a time to release conditioning and returning into an innocent way, and then trusting the flow of life rather than forcing outcomes. Can bring both wounding and healing experiences depending on how you embrace the lesson. So the shadow with gate 25 is it contracts. It wants to contract because it wants to protect ourselves. But, and this was like a really good segue from gate 36, even when it hurts, and this reminds me of Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul. Even when it hurts, can you have your heart remain open? Because whatever's trying to crack open, it needs to open and then release whatever is there. So it's just a really interesting exercise to play around with. Obviously, if like you are in an unsafe place, I would not suggest that. This is just more like triggers that the mind is tapping into. So safety is always first. I don't have gate 25. That's okay. So we're gonna see how gate 25 is showing up for you. So gate 25 is providing a sextile, which means a sextile is opportunities and ease in growth and integration. So it's a positive aspect, and it's sextiling your moon. So your moon is gate 41 in line 3. So gate 41 is the gate of decrease, fantasy, and the start of a new. It connects with the sun's energy of innocence and spirit. So this time can create an opportunity for emotional renewal. Nancy, you may feel pulled towards surrendering past emotional burdens and moving into a fresh cycle. So with gate 25 and this sextile for your moon, and it's in the line 3. So gate 25, and I'm just channeling right now, it's asking you to open to a new experience that you want to start, and surrendering what didn't work out in the past that you tried starting, right? Because that's line 3. Line 3 can really get caught up in, well, this didn't work in the past, so I'm not going to try again. Or it doesn't learn the lessons of the past. So Nancy says, yes, have been in the few weeks. Awesome. So then, and then Kirsten, if you want to jump in at any point and cut me off, just do so you can share whatever's coming to you. Let's see what else. So, and then your sun is also creating a sextile to your north node, which is also in gate 41 in line 2. So your moon and your north node are conjunct, meaning that they're right on top of each other. So then the north node, like we mentioned before, represents destiny and evolution. And in gate 41, it's all about initiating new experiences and tapping into your imagination. This transit supports stepping into a higher path, one that requires trust, surrendered, and heart-led action. So anything that you want to share or kind of piggyback off from that, Kirsten?
I think the main key things here from what we've explored through looking through her chart is that I guess asking you, are you aware of these already, or are these new, or maybe they're perhaps old memories that we're resurfacing, right? Because that's what the transits are here to do. They're there to help us align and remember what it is that we were gifted with, what we were perhaps even born with, or what through our ancestral lineage is meant to be passed on to us. So yeah, I'd really love to know if any of this is resonating with you, or if it's new for you. But I think the key element here is about trusting, sorry, and surrendering and leading from the heart, from gate 25, in whatever it is that's coming forward for you. Just try not to force it. Just allow it in. And so whether it's just sitting in stillness, it's going for a walk, it's meditating, it's whatever it feels right for you. Yes. So I don't know if there's any feedback there yet, Lauren, because I can't see the comments. But yeah, I'm really curious to know if anything's popping for you at the moment.
So Nancy says, I've been doing shadow work for the past few months and am in the end of releasing the old stale thoughts and negativity so I can go forward. Awesome.
Great. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, because the sun will really help with the emotional process because it's creating a sextile here. And so it's with the sextile, it is pushing that growth. It can be a little bit uncomfortable, but it is a good aspect.
Yeah, and
to have. It's
not don't forget about the mind. The mind is about embracing, right? So just embrace it. The physical body is allowing it to accept, like just allow it in. Okay, so whatever's coming through, how it feels physically, and then embracing it through emotionally. So just remember those key three elements as you're moving in through this gate, is allowing it all in, accepting it, and just what it is that it's meant to be by embracing it all.
Love it. Yeah, so good. Yeah, I have the gate 41 as well. So it's like it's also about contraction. So that's interesting because we were just talking about that, the constriction, right? So gate 41, it's expanding the contraction. And it's the start
breath
codon.
And it's about the breath, right? So
yeah.
It's allowing the breathing in and allowing yourself to breathe and feel it. Feel that breath coming in and out. So it's more about being aware of the breath.
Yeah, and those are really good embodiment tools as well as we're contemplating all these things and going through our shifts. Nancy says, I've been actively trying to change perspectives when I get bogged down. That's a huge one with the tools. Absolutely. Perspective is everything. Okay, so we have a couple other things to go over for Nancy. So she also has a sextile to her Venus. So her Venus is in gate 23 and line 3. So Venus in the gate 23 is the gate of simulation or splitting apart. It represents expressing truth and individual insight in relationships in creativity. So with this sextile, Nancy may feel more open to expressing her authentic self in love and social connection and even her personal values. So with the gate 23 in line 3, it's part of the freak to genius channel. And so if the freak to genius is not recognized, it could just look kind of freaky. But when it's recognized, it's so freaking unique. And with another line 3, it's really through trial and error and what you're here to mutate. That's the line 3's genius. And what's really supportive with the line 3 is finding the humor in things. And so the sun with this sextile to your Venus, it's really supportive of how you're expressing yourself in your relationships as well, and seeing what works and what doesn't work when you're communicating, and then what also is just being invited to come out because you have an undefined throat. So you'll be able to tap into what other people need to hear more easily when it's invited. Let's see. Look at it in a different way to change my attitude. Love to laugh at life. Love that. Yes. Let's see. Gate 23 and line 3 can sometimes feel unstable, as it's about recognizing when something no longer fits. This transit can bring clarity and letting go of outdated relationship dynamics while staying rooted in the heart, which is gate 25. So anything that you wanted to share on that, Kirsten?
I think here about the gate of assimilation, the 23, right, and the splitting apart. It's about understanding that sometimes things need to be split apart to assimilate. So, and that really resonates for me in various things. So, yeah, Nancy, I'd like to know if that makes sense for you. So, this is your Sun sextile to your Venus. So, Sun being in gate 25, your sextile with Venus in gate 23.3. So, what is it that needs to split apart, or perhaps has already split apart so that you could assimilate things? So, yeah, I'm curious to hear Nancy's thoughts on that one.
So good. So Nancy said last year you are frozen. So it looks like Nancy's having some tech issues. No worries, Nancy. You can always go back and watch the replay and then comment anything else that comes up. So the last thing we're going to go over for Nancy's little mini reading is a trine, looking at one of her trines. So a trine is a harmonious flow and strengthening of energy. It's usually can be 2 or 3 planets that are in a trine that are working together. We're just going to look at 2 aspects. So this sun is in trine with Nancy's Mercury, which is in gate 31 in line 1. So Mercury in gate 31 is the gate of influence. It enhances leadership through authentic self-expression. So this is a really amazing time, Nancy, for you to step into that alpha, because that is part of the channel of the alpha, and it is also the gate of democracy and diplomacy. The trine brings clear, intuitive communication, allowing Nancy to speak from her heart without overanalyzing. So the gate 31 in line 1 is the foundation of the leadership because it is in the line 1. This transit supports leading through pure presence rather than control and natural alignment with gate 25's energy of trust. So also gate 31, it gets to be invited to speak as well, and it gets to be invited to lead. So without the gate 7, it can kind of just be like, I'm trying to lead, but I'm not having the direction or that, being seen. I have the gate 31, so this can happen a lot because I'm like, hey, let's do this and this. It's also in the pence of the gate of ordering and organization. So just making sure this is recognized. But you can also just speak from your own leadership as you're sharing, and you'll be recognized through your aligned peoples. So anything that you wanted to share on that, Kirsten?
Yeah, being that it's the alpha gate, right? But remembering that it's 25, the sun's transiting through this, and the 25 is the feminine, about love and embodiment. So it's kind of like stepping into that foundational leadership, really, like with a not force, but really having a true presence, right? Standing your ground, sharing it from the voice, but also having that femininity at the same time, really stepping into your heart space whilst you're stepping into that more masculine energy. So it needs a little bit of both. So just remember that whenever you are able to stand up and lead and use your voice and express, do it from the heart.
Love that. Yeah. So I feel like that was sort of the overall interpretation we got from looking at a few of Nancy's key transits. So just to reiterate, it's so personal as to how these things will show up for somebody. And so since with Nancy's individual chart, this is just the season she's in, with just looking at a few key personal placements for her. And it can get really extensive. There's a lot of other placements that certain planets will be talking to. So Nancy, let us know how that landed. If you have any questions, if you need to go back and watch the replay, because tech froze, totally fine too. So Nancy says, yes, I understand presence versus force, heart and mind, not just mind. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So now we are going to transition from Nancy to Triple Venus and do a little mini reading for her and her transit chart. And right now, because in a bit, they will be different. Awesome. So Triple Venus has a completely different chart. And I know she is a sacral generator. And she is going through her Saturn return. So when I'm looking at a chart, I kind of just pick out the things that stand out to me intuitively. I just pull, because that's how I operate the best. So when I looked at Brittany's Triple Venus's chart, she is super psychic. She has the gate 57 in her sun, so that is who she is here to be known for, and the sun is shining light for her to be seen. She has tribal circuitry, so here to care for her tribe, and she's individual, so she is here to mutate and create the change that needs to be created and recognized for her tribe. Oh yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go into it. We're gonna go into it and see how the transits are showing up for you. So Triple Venus is currently experiencing a mix of intense transformation, mental clarity, and challenge of integrating structure and emotional expression with Saturn retrograde. Saturn return. Saturn return is like it's like the initiating into adulthood, like really, really intense. It's karma, it's discipline. It's like, okay, this is where you need to get your shit together, and like I'm gonna initiate into it. For me, it was like the dark night of the soul, but it sets you on the trajectory of like your highest timeline when you align to them. So the first thing that we're going to look into is, made like a lot of notes on this, is so the sun is in opposition with Mercury right now. So Mercury is in gate 18 and line 3 for you. So this transit may bring up mental pressure to analyze and fix things, because that's what gate 18 does. And Christian can speak to you on this. Gate 18 is the gate of correction. It's like, okay, how can I make this perfect? What needs to be corrected? Because it is part of the channel of judgment. And then so when we have an opposition, we have a push and pull energy. So the sun wants you to lean into, oh, I need to expand, I need to be in love. But gate 18 is like, well, I need to think of how things can get better. What do I need to correct? And so this is an opportunity for you to go back and forth and expand and grow in this area. If you lean too much to one side, you might either feel detached or too burdened by overanalyze. And so balance is key right now. And trusting in divine flow while also applying your wisdom. So, Kirsten, you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I think Triple Venus, I think for the 18, it's about asking yourself, what draws people in to you? What do they like about you? And just pause and think about that. So what do they like about you? What draws them into you? What gifts are you sharing? What gifts do you want to share? So just have a moment to yourself to think that one, because I think when you're always trying to fix things and overanalyze things, because that's the 18, I know it well. And if it's in, an opposition energy as well, the mental pressure can be really intense. It can really want to nitpick and find all those things that are wrong, like the flaws, and improve things. So if you're going too much on one side, then you're not giving yourself that balance. So yeah, stopping and pausing, it helps me. So I hope that can give you something to take away from this, is that sometimes you just need to stand back and stop yourself from allowing that 18 to really go on the shadow side, where you want to give yourself the gift side, right? Or the city of the 18. And you really want to be able to step into, so it's from moving from integrity through perfection to sensuality. So what makes people draw themselves into you through this, I guess if you look at it, like it's almost like a sensual being, it's a sensual feeling. So what is it that they can feel from your energy? So that's my share on that one.
I love that. Yeah, Triple Venus says, "Oh yes, I've definitely been doing that with my rebranding and flowing more with Venus in my ascendant. Always, LOL. Beautiful. Yeah, and with the line 3, it's really about the trial and error of the correction, and then what it's here to mutate, and then just having fun with it. So gate 18 might kind of like not like the line 3 influence, but it's like that's what you're here to experiment with and play with and be, and then just being in the joy of it as well, because through that channel of judgment and being it, because gate 58 is about the joy and in response, and then gate 18 is off the splenic center, and so it's having that intuitive knowing of, okay, I need to lean into this could be better, but it's like giving yourself that grace of trial and error and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And then gate 25 is just like everything's perfect. And so it's playing with that. So even though it's an opposition energy, it's a really beautiful thing to kind of play with right now. So the next thing we have is the sun is making a trine with your Mars. So Mars is in your gate 43 and line 4. So this gate is all about internal knowing, its unique insights, and sometimes needing solitude to process. This trine aspect is creating a smooth flow of energy between the sun and your ability to take action. So this is an ideal time for innovative ideas, particularly ones that challenge conventional thinking. If you feel like you're holding back on expressing unique perspectives, now is the time to trust those insights and act on them. Especially with line 4, this is how you can share with your network and people that you know. And the sun is like really making this harmonious aspect of like, okay, let's shine the light on this. What unique insights do you have right now? Where are they being invited to share within your network? So let us know if you've been noticing that, if there's any resistance with that, if you're feeling like, oh yeah, I really have this unique idea, or I'm noticing this. Sometimes with gate 43, they can, I keep getting booted, but it's storming here too. Sorry. So sorry, Moonstone Muse. You can always watch the replay too. That will be loaded as well. I'm telling you, Mercury retrograde.
And just for those, sorry, Lauren.
No, go on.
Yeah, so just for those that want to watch the replay too, and step back in and listen and understand some of these gates, because they may be relevant for you. They might show up in your profile or your body chart. We will be hosting this on our YouTube page, and the YouTube we would love you to go over once we've finished, of course, but give us some time to obviously upload it. And that's over at Cosmic Harmony HD. And we'll put the link in for you, so you'll be able to find that easy. But it's not on there now, so stay with us. We've got a bit more to share. We're moving through the trine in Mars, and then we've got a little bit more to come about your Saturn return too. So I'll let Lauren continue on that one.
Yeah, and with gate 43s, sometimes what I've noticed with this gate is that they have a frequency of mental noise. And so sometimes it can be really, really noisy mentally. But as you go through the deconditioning process and really contemplate this gate and how it shows up for you, then it shifts into blocking out outside noise and what's not in alignment, because you have your designed way of thinking. And depending on if you have an open or defined ajna, and I think you have an undefined ajna, you'll able to have more of a fluid and flexible way of seeing things and not being attached to a specific type of way you view things in your insight.
Can I mention too, with the 43, it's another sacred seal. It's one of the 7
I love
sacred
that.
seals. So for those that have 25 in their profile or body chart, it's one of the 7 sacred seals. But also the 43 is as well. It's the codon ring of destiny, and it's about insights and epiphanies. So what are the insights? What are the epiphanies that come to you? This is in my part of fortune, so I really have loved diving into this one. So think about the key insights. What are the epiphanies, those breakthroughs that Lauren mentioned, that are coming through for you, because it's part of your destiny to be able to share these.
Awesome. So Triple Venus says the Sun trine has been affecting my relationship and our communication with each other. Long talk about that yesterday, which was pretty positive. Mental noise is an understatement. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. Yeah, the Venus retrograde, it's really shining light on so many relationship stuff. But the Sun, it seems like I have 20. Oh yeah, Lucille has the Freak to Genius channel. Yep. She's our freaky genius, our emotional projector who has freaky genius. Love it. Yeah, so good. Thanks so much for sharing, you guys. So let's look at the Sun conjunct Saturn and Triple Venus. You're also going through your Saturn return. So the Sun conjunct Saturn, meaning the Sun is on top or very close to your Saturn right now, and your Saturn is in gate 22 in line 3. So we're getting a lot of line 3 energies today, which is I always look at like the message and the synchronicity. So I feel like what the energy and the universe and just what's wanting us attention is more playfulness with the trial and error process of life. Because the line 3, it can either be too scared to even try because they have this inner knowing of like, well, I'm going to fail anyways. But that's what it's here for. It's here to see, okay, well, this might not work out, but I need to like experiment and see like what I can do to like change this. Or the line 3 gets caught up in not learning the lesson and just repeating the pattern of, oh, if I try it again, it's going to work. Or if I keep doing it and it's like, no. So there's 2 sides to that. The highest expression is finding humor and being like, oh, I tried this, da 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 da, and like having a story about it and having it really be funny and then seeing what worked. And I know somebody who leans into this so beautifully, and she's a 3-5. She's a generator, and just reading her stuff, it just cracks me up all the time because I'm like, she just finds the humor and like some kind of intense things, and she can laugh about it. oh, I tried to do XYZ and then it led to this. And it's like a funny story. And then she learned something from it. So going back to the sun conjunct your Saturn in gate 22 in line 3. So this is all about emotional maturity and grace. That's the gate 22. It's off the solar plexus emotional center, and it is the gate of openness. So it is connected to being receptive to life's rhythms. And with the sun conjunct this in Saturn, this could bring a feeling of responsibility around emotional expression, learning how to hold space for emotions without being overwhelmed. And since it's often undefined solar plexus center, this will give you the ability to feel other people's emotions. So it's like being able to hold that space and witness versus completely absorbing and amplifying other people's emotional experience. You may feel pressure to take on more responsibility or structure in how you express yourself because it is in Saturn. So the theme here is learning to balance openness with emotional discipline. There may be a lesson around emotional resilience, patience, and trusting in divine timing with the sun conjunct right here. And then since it is conjunct also your Saturn return, so let's go a little bit into this. With Saturn is in gate 36 right now, which is the gate of crisis and growth. So right now there could be this crisis happening or this period for you to shift out of whatever maybe the mind is like, oh, this is not bad, or this is bad, this is not working, into, okay, what happens if I just kind of detach from this? What do I get to have more compassion about? What is my grace? What is my emotional intelligence wanting me to learn with Saturn? And since the sun is shining light on all this, how can I stay open without contracting?
Lauren?
Yeah.
You know, we talked at the very beginning about the synchronicities.
Mm-hmm.
There's something really important that we need to bring forward for Triple Venus. The 22 is another 7 sacred seal.
That is coming up. Yes. Kirsten is so good with Gene Keys and the sacred seals. I don't know anything.
But there's 3. There's 3 already.
Mm-hmm.
These are huge. They're really, really big. And the 22 is about the doorway to grace. It's about the real divine feminine and learning to be accountable and not reverting to those victim statuses. And you just mentioned those. So being in the now, being aware of being honest with yourself, but also with others. So it's about dishonor and how we dishonor ourselves first. And I'm saying this because I have this as well. I have it in my personality, Lilith. So it's a master key, one of the 7 sacred seals, as I mentioned, and it's about graciousness and also cosmic kindness. So how are you treating other people with kindness by being honest with yourself?
I love that. I love that.
No, we went into the 36, but I had to go back to the 22
no,
because
it's so good.
like, I'm sure this is a sacred seal. And of course, as soon as I
Yeah.
looked at my own reflections and contemplations, I was like, yes, I knew there was something there. So
I love the gate 22. It's so good. It's so good. It has to feel that it has to be in the right mood too to express oneself. It's the belle of the ball as well. So let's go back and see what Triple Venus is saying. Yes, that goes with my 5th house Chiron. Used to be very afraid of being chaotic or making a mess, being useful, etc. Learning how to be a sieve versus a sponge, absolutely. Definitely a crisis has been happening, but it's in an inaction period right now. It's out of my physical realm. Lilith coming conjunct on my Venus / opposing my moon. Wow. Yeah. I know someone who went through a drastic crisis recently. Yeah. And it's the message that I got, because I really it hit me. The message that I got is there's always a higher purpose. There's always a higher purpose. And sometimes crisis tries to wake us up if we're not being present and going with the flow of what the universe wants us to experience. So this is just going to look different for everybody. I'm just giving a little bit from my personal perspective and view, because my view is personal. So let's go into the last couple of things we have for you, Triple Venus. And if you have anything else you want to share about your Saturn return, or any questions that are coming up, just drop them in the comments as well. So one of the last things that we have is you have your Mercury and Venus are trining Jupiter. Or no, Mercury and Venus in their transits is trining your Jupiter right now. So Mercury and Venus retrograde, so they're both in gate 17, and they're trining your Jupiter, which is in gate 5 in line 1. So Mercury and Venus are here to highlight a period of mental structuring, organizing ideas, refining communication, and forming strong perspective. So with the trine in Jupiter, gate 5 is all about rhythms and patience. It's also about rituals. It's really important. Anybody who has gate 5 is in alignment and in sync and practicing rituals. I notice when people don't, they lean more into, if they don't have the 15, they can kind of go off into extremes, which is the not self, or and this is for anybody really, like our rituals are really important, and they just help create like a structure for us. So with the trine into Jupiter, this creates an easy flow of energy where Triple Venus thoughts and words align with divine timing and natural cycles. So the more that you tap into creating a foundation, since it's a line 1, and having rituals, because Jupiter is all about prosperity, it's luck, then it will be rewarded. The theme here is a great time for visionary thinking and sharing structured ideas. You may find your words have more impact now, and there is an opportunity to communicate in ways that lead to expansion and recognition. So, Kirsten, do you have anything to say on that?
No, I think you've summarized that really, really well, Lauren. I think because we've spoken about 17 already, and I believe we touched a little bit on 18 earlier, but 18 is about the perfection, the entrapment, the sensuality, whereas the 17 is the farsightedness, the omniscience. What are you seeing? So think about those and how they show up for you. And then I guess the final thoughts of how to navigate this period through this transit, through the sun transiting in gate 25, is about embracing surrender and your own spiritual trust. So rather than trying to control and analyze everything, it's a time to really trust that things are going to unfold as they should. And then honoring that emotional maturity and Saturn's lessons. So the lessons around the emotional wisdom and the patience at play. So how much patience have you got? How much patience do you need? With the Saturn pushing for that really long-term growth. So the challenges are now going to shape this stronger foundation for you as these emotional, breakthroughs come through for you. And then it's about the balance of the logic with the flow. So while structuring thoughts and forming opinions with the 17, it's valuable. And then you've got the perfectionism of 18 that could create a little bit of tension. So the lesson is to trust the insights rather than over analyzing. And I know this one really well, having 17 and 18. Just allow them to come and try not to go the mental mind and think. Just allow them to be. Use the momentum of Mars and and Jupiter with the trine supporting action and expansion right now, this is a really good time to just be aware of those breakthroughs, and especially with the self-expression and sharing those ideas. So it's about vocalizing them, sharing them, allowing others to see your honesty. Remember, we spoke about being honor yourself, but also honor the words that you're gifting and sharing with others that are coming from the heart through that gate 25, and what it is that allows you to step in and really shine and gift other people with the love that you're here to gift.
Love that. So good. So that concludes our 2 little mini transit readings. We wanted to give these beauties. And if you want us to do a mini transit reading for you on day 2, let us know. Send us your chart. And we have something very exciting for you if you want to enter to win our amazing prize that we will be later telling you about, because we really want to build the anticipation. It's so good. So how you enter to win. So make sure you like, follow, and share this event. Make sure you like and follow my page, Kirsten's page, both of where we're showing up here live, and Cosmic Harmony HD Instagram as well. Make sure you let us know that you shared so we can enter you in the drawing. And make sure that you contemplate what we went over, you know, the questions that we shed light about, the gate 25, what feels like unconditional love with and without boundaries. Are you following your strategy and authority through this time? And if you know anybody, thanks, ladies, insightful. You're so welcome. Thanks, Triple Venus, for being here live and letting us look at your chart. And I hope that it really landed. And if you have any questions, just let us know too. If you want to have your own personal chart read one-on-one and really go into the expansion and all the details, let us know. I offer personal transit readings. And Kirsten, what are you offering right now?
So right now, because I look more into how to help people within their business and understand the transit timelines, I'm doing a transit timeline for business. So if you're interested in those, reach out to Lauren or I through either Lauren Wenzel or Empowered Business Harmony or Cosmic Harmony HD. Any of those platforms will be more than happy to share with you. And I just want to say thank you, everyone that's been here. There's quite a few of you that have been here the whole time. So thank you so much for tuning in and staying with us today. We do have obviously day 2 coming soon. So stay tuned for when we're announcing that one to go live next. And as Lauren said, if you'd like to have a mini reading for yourself, we'd love to be able to provide that for you. If you'd like to go into the major draw prize, then you know what to do. And also, for those of you that would like to watch it on the replay, stay tuned to Cosmic Harmony HD on YouTube. So thanks again for sticking with us, for sharing with us. I've really loved all the comments that Lauren's been able to read out to us all. And thanks for just being with us and sharing your presence. It's been fantastic. It's been really fun again, Lauren. I've really enjoyed it.
Me too.
So is there anything else, Lauren, you would like to add before we say goodbye?
So Lucille says, love you both. Good stuff here. Thanks so much, Lucille. And get ready for day 2, which we're planning on. Mel says, thank you so much. Great session.
Welcome,
thank you, Mel. We're planning on hopefully next week, if anything changes just because of Mercury retrograde, we'll let you know. Day 2 is just going to be just as amazing. We're going to bring so much magic. And it's such an honor to bring this to you all, to grow together, to expand on our fractal, to provide you all of this information, to hold the space of your genius where you're here to continue to grow, to tap into. And yeah, we just want to hear from you. So let us know what landed. If you have any questions, your biggest takeaways, Make sure you enter to win because we are so excited to gift one person this very lucky prize. And yeah, if you want to connect in the meantime, you can reach out to either one of us. The links into our sessions are in our bios as well. If you need them, just let us know too, and we can send them your way. And I think that's it for now. All right, everyone. Bye.
Bye all.